Hi BookTube, I'm here with my December TBR. I'm excited. It's the last month of 2016 and we're gonna get some good reading in. Yes. So I only have one audiobook planned. It's 33 hours long though, so it will probably take most of the month to get through it, and then after that I'll decide. So it is Knife of Dreams by Robert Jordan. This is book 11. It was supposed to be the penultimate book, but unfortunately Robert Jordan passed away and passed the torch onto Brandon Sanderson, who decided that the last book should actually be 3 books. So after this there will be 3 books to go. But because this is like the penultimate book, I'm expecting there to be a lot more action, so I'm excited. Then I have an ebook planned, and that is Satan Tango. I'm just going to show you the black cover of my ebook cover. Anyways, so Satan Tango is actually probably more well known for the 7-hour-long film that it kind of inspired. It is by Laszlo Krasznahorkai, translated from the Hungarian. Goodreads says it's about failure stuck in the middle of nowhere, but the reason I really picked it up is not because I personally identify as a failure stuck in the middle of nowhere, but because Night Hunter Books said that she didn't like it because the sentences were long, dense, and complicated, and it was too much. Which maybe didn't appeal to her, but really appeals to me. And I just wanted to ask you guys, have you ever had someone inadvertently recommend you a book because of their dislike of it? Because I certainly have, just now. Then I have a book of poetry, which is the first book of poetry I'll be reading this year, which is not too surprising because I don't often read a lot of poetry, but I decided to pick up The Spicebox of Earth by Leonard Cohen. He's a great Canadian musician who recently passed away, and I figured it's probably about time that I read some of his written work. Then we have A Conspiracy of Alchemists by Liesl Schwartz. So this is just kind of like a steampunk fantasy YA romance type thing, which is something that I felt I needed. A Replacement Life by Boris Fishman, and this is actually a birthday present from my mom. It's about a young writer who's asked to forge Holocaust restitution claims for Russian Jews who are now living in New York. Then I'll be reading Dawn by Octavia E. Butler. It's the first book in the Xenogenesis series, and it's just this first little section here, so 244 pages, not very long. It's about a species that has come to save Earth, which is dying, but only on the condition that they can start breeding with humans. So it's going to be interesting. Then, because I'm filming this late, I've already read this one. It is Stoner by John Williams. It is a modern classic. It's a campus novel about a initially young student who becomes a professor, and it's basically the story of his life and trying to find the remarkable in the unremarkable, if that, you know, makes sense. I'll do a review of that. Then I have Natural History of Dragons, a memoir by Lady Trent by Marie Brennan. So I picked it up because I love dragons. I haven't read a lot of books with dragons in them. This seems to be about a young scientist, noblewoman who wants to study dragons in this kind of Victorian-esque world. Perdido Street Station by China Mayville, and this is a science fiction classic, even though it was written 16 years ago. That's a long time. 2000, can you believe? Digression. Can you believe 2000 was 16 years ago? Almost 17 years ago. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, China Mayville, Perdido Street Station. A scientist is approached by a half-bird, half-human named Garuda, who offers him a scientific challenge that will change the city they live in forever. And insert evil laughter here. Sounds pretty good. And then we have this one, The Last Breath by Kimberly Bell, which sounds like an awesome book. It's about Gia, who is a young woman who works in humanitarian aid, who's called home to look after her dying father who's actually also just been released from prison for having killed her stepmother. And it sounds really good, but that whole premise only takes place on like 3 of the 300 pages in this book, and the rest is just a really bad Harlequin novel about people feeling stuff in their bellies, and an incredibly, incredibly selfish woman who has no redeemable qualities, in my opinion, and yeah, give it a miss. Then I have Red Mars by Kim Stanley Robinson, which is a science fiction classic, and it is about the beginnings of terraforming Mars for human habitation. Yeah. That's it. That's what I'll be reading in December. Let me know what you're looking forward to reading at this end of 2016, and thank you for watching.